Hey guys, welcome to HipHughes History, a little colonial history on tap for you today as we rewind the clock back to 1676 and we get ready for every vegetarian's nightmare, Bacon's Rebellion. Let's take a look at the causes that led up to the rebellion, the actual rebellion itself, and what's going to be on the test, the effects. You know it, kids. So let's go giddy up for the learning as we go get her done right now. So Bacon's Rebellion is going to be in 1676, but of course we're going to start before that. Not in the founding of Jamestown, that's a different story, and certainly John Smith, and they had a lot of problems and yada, yada, yada. But after a couple of decades, things start to calm down, and there's an increase in immigration. There's lots of reasons why people want to escape Europe, escape England. They're in debt, it's overcrowded, there's religious Protestant Catholic war stuff going on. But really, this represents hope. This represents a way out. So you have people that are coming over to the Virginia colony. And there's different types of people. There's people with Momo and people without Momo. Now, in the headright system, oh, vocabulary, I love you. In the headright system, for every ticket that you could afford, you got 50 acres of land. So if you were wealthy, you could come over and get a lot of land. But if you didn't have Momo in the headright system, you'd come over owing. You'd be an indentured servant. And that meant you had to dedicate 5 to 7 years of your life working hard labor before you got some land. So that's really the labor system. Of course, there's slavery. The first slave ship comes in 1619 in Jamestown, but the system is heavily dependent upon indentured servants, and this creates a class system, those with and those without. Now, the people that are living on the coast near Jamestown, kind of the Tidewater region, these are the elite, these are the powerful, these are the people with Momo. And then the people without Momo, these indentured servants and others that couldn't afford to live there, would get kind of the not so great land out in the west, the frontier. And these people are surrounded by Native Americans, the Amatuks and the Manchaus and the Oranaxes. And there's 5 or 6 Native American tribes that I can't pronounce that are surrounding them. So by 1670, you have some problems. You have a problem of these people that are living in the frontier feeling as though they're being ignored. They're feeling like they're being overtaxed. They're feeling like their rights aren't being watched out for. And there's other problems. There's not enough women. The women who do come over, much fewer than the men, they're going to be marrying the people that are in the Tidewater region, the elite. Why are you going to marry some guy out in the west surrounded by Native Americans with no money? So there's a lot of reasons why these frontiersmen, these people in the Virginia colony living out in the western frontier are angry. Now you have a governor in William Berkeley, and he is firmly in the position of being in the elite. Not only is he in the elite in the sense that he's ignoring kind of what these frontier peoples want, but he also has a very big interest in the lucrative fur trade. He doesn't want to upset his relations with these Native Americans, so in a sense he's siding with his moneyed interest rather than the people themselves. And then in 1670, the House of Burgesses, oh, I love the House of Burgesses, this first representative body in the New World, is going to strip these frontiersmen that don't own land, that aren't in the elite, that are poor, of their voting rights. So that's not necessarily going to go over very well. So there's a lot of causes, but I think the main ones are a lack of land, the Native Americans, they're upset with the elite controlling the fur trade. They feel as though now that their suffrage has been taken away, they're certainly being taxed without representation. So they're going to be angry, they're going to start gathering up, and there's going to be a rebellion. So by 1676, we're going to have our rebellion. Things are going to come to a head. And it starts with these frontiers people, the indentured servants, the poor folks, kind of garnering their energy together, a few hundred people creating their own militia to go after the Native Americans, whether or not Governor Berkeley wants it. And they're going to elect a leader in Nathaniel Bacon. Now, Nathaniel isn't really one of them. He's not an indentured servant. He ain't Poe. He ain't Poe. He's pretty rich. In fact, his wife is a cousin of the Berkeley family. Now, what was probably going on is Nathaniel wanted to be in that inner circle. He wanted to be near the reins of power, and he was rebuffed. They turned him away. So he turned to these rebels, to these militias, and they elect him as their leader. Now, it might have had something to do with that he brought a lot of brandy and booze and stuff, but nevertheless, he's going to be their leader. He was only 29 years old. So after they go over the head of Berkeley and they start attacking some of these Native American tribes, whether they were friendly or they weren't friendly, they massacred Native Americans and they start Native American attacks on the frontiers people as well. So that's going to increase. But then eventually they go to Jamestown, and there's a story where Governor Berkeley actually bares his chest to Bacon and the rebels and said, if you're going to shoot me, shoot me. And at that point, the House of Burgesses had already voted to reinstate suffrage rights and to limit some of the powers of the governor. So in a sense, they're giving in to the rebels a little bit, but by that time, it's too late because Bacon wants to go full head on against the Native Americans. He wants a commission. He turns to the House of Burgesses. He actually gets that commission, and then he goes to town. And now, at this point, he's really looking for the big win. He wants to get rid of Berkeley. He wants a full rebellion. And on July 30th of 1676, they issue what's called the Declaration of the People of Virginia. And this is, in a sense, like the Declaration of Independence. They're writing a letter saying that the colonial government is corrupt, that these are elites, that they have special contracts with Native Americans, that they're unfair to the people, and they actually march on Jamestown with about 400, 500 men, and on September 19th of 1676, they burn it to the ground. They burn down Jamestown. Berkeley flees, and it looks like this rebellion is going to work, that Bacon is going to replace the colonial governor, that he is going to overthrow the reins of power, and then he gets the poops. Dysentery. And in October of 1676, he's going to poop himself to death, basically. Nathaniel Bacon's going to die. Die on the toilet. It's a horrible death. Ugh. Nevertheless, that's really going to create chaos amongst the rebels. They're never really able to form under a new banner and continue the fight. And now forces from Europe are coming. Great Britain, England is going to protect Governor Berkeley, and they're going to take back the reins of power. So it's a failed rebellion. At the end of the day, Bacon dies of dysentery, and the rebellion goes down in flames. In 1677, Governor Berkeley is going to return to Jamestown. They're going to hang 23 of the rebels. They're going to confiscate all of this land back, and they're really going to put down the fists of furies. Bacon's rebellion is a failure. But there's always results. So why don't we go take a look at the results right about now. So let's look at the effects, and I think that the biggest effect is going to be that this really is going to expose class tensions to the elite, that something needs to be done. Now, we didn't previously mention this, but Bacon was promising freedom to any blacks that joined his cause, and the idea of poor blacks and poor whites uniting is a plantation owner's biggest nightmare. So while we certainly can draw some lines to the concept of this is a rebellion against authority that we're going to see in Shays' Rebellion, eventually in the American Revolution, and that's going to be a big idea. The bigger idea is that it exposed this vulnerability in the class system of poor blacks and poor whites. So the head right system is going to come to an end. No longer are elites going to bring indentured servants over and make them do the labor, because it's just going to create too many problems, because these indentured servants are going to want equality, they're going to want the same rights, and it's just going to create more problems down the road. So the big effect, and you want to write this one down on your paper there, kids, right now, is that the head right system and indentured servant system is going to end and be replaced by the African slave system. Now, slaves were in Jamestown since 1619, but they weren't the predominant working labor force. Now they're going to become the predominant working labor force. The slave system, as we know it, that runs its course through American history up to the Civil War, really has its roots sown at the end of Bacon's Rebellion. So there you go, guys. We hope that you understand something about Bacon's Rebellion, at least a little bit. You could spout out an essay. I hope you can. At least get the stupid question right on the test. Oh, my goodness. And make sure that you check out other lectures. We have over 400 lectures, and if you're not subscribed, I don't even know why I'm looking at you. I'm going to look over here because I can't look at you in the eyes. Go subscribe right now because it's the right thing to do. And always remember that where attention goes, energy flows, and we'll see you guys next time that you press my buttons.